Hey, listener, welcome back. We're diving into something pretty intense today with H.P. Lovecraft's The Other Gods. You sent this one in, and it seems like you're ready to tackle some seriously big questions like, forbidden knowledge and what happens when ambition, takes us too far.
And The Other Gods is, yeah, a great story to do that with. It's really layered even for Lovecraft. Like right away we're in this world where even the earthly gods are kind of hiding from humanity.
So not the worship me, grant wishes kind of gods.
Right. Like these gods are almost Lovecraftian themselves. They're powerful and ancient, but there's something even bigger out there.
Okay, so what do we know about these earthly gods?
Well, the story implies that they used to be closer to humans, like way back, even left a carving on this mountain, Mountain Granite. But now they're way up on the highest peaks guarding this place called Kadath, which Lovecraft describes as totally beyond human reach. It's like they know something we don't, something scary.
See, that's what always gets me about Lovecraft, that feeling of just how huge everything is. Like the universe is this massive thing, and we're just tiny specks trying to figure it out.
You've got it. That's like the core of cosmic horror right there. It's not just monsters or jump scares. It's that feeling of dread when you realize how small we are in the grand scheme of things. And that's where our main character comes in, Barzai the Wise, who's maybe a little too excited to find out what humans aren't supposed to know.
He's really obsessed with these gods. Like he studied all those forbidden books, what are they called?
Oh, the 7 cryptical books of Hassan and the Nakodic manuscripts.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
Just the names sound like they could summon something bad.
Mm-hmm.
But are they just spooky names, or is there something more to them?
Oh, there's definitely more to them, especially the Nakodic manuscripts. They pop up in other Lovecraft stories, too. It's like they're keys to this secret history of Earth, a history that hints at contact with, well, things humans weren't meant to meet.
Well, that's cool how those details connect everything together.
Yeah.
So Barzai thinks he's got these gods figured out. He thinks his knowledge will protect him. And I guess that's why he decides to climb Huthek Claw. This mountain, that's basically a giant warning sign, right?
Yeah, it's not just confidence, though. It's hubris. And that's super important for understanding why Barzai fails. It's not that he's just arrogant. It's that he believes humans are smart enough to conquer anything, even the cosmic unknown. And in Lovecraft's universe, that is a recipe for disaster. Oh, and of course, he brings his follower, Atala. I kind of feel bad for Atala.
Oh, yeah. Atal's totally the nervous sidekick in this horror movie. He knows the local legends. He's heard the stories about the mountain. But Barzai, he just dismisses all that as superstition. And that difference, their attitudes, that's what makes what happens next so creepy.
Exactly. Because the climb itself, it becomes the psychological trip. Lovecraft describes this mountain as desolate, almost alien. Like the higher they climb, the further they get from anything human, anything safe. And as they get closer to the top, things start to change.
It's not just the thin air getting to them.
Nope. The light changes, the mists swirl, and Barzai starts hearing voices. He's super excited, thinks he's finally talking to the gods. But the thing is, he's not just hearing the gods of Earth. He's found something else.
The other gods, right. The ones Lovecraft never really describes. The less he says about them, the scarier they get. What could be so terrifying that even gods are scared of it?
That's the power of what's left unsaid, right? Lovecraft taps into this fear of the unknown. He doesn't have to show us the other gods because our imaginations will always make them way scarier than anything he could write.
And poor Barzai gets the full, unfiltered version of that horror. All we hear are his screams echoing down the mountain, and Ikadal barely escapes with his life.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Remember that weird eclipse everyone saw? Lovecraft links it directly to Barzai on the mountaintop. It's like his attempt to reach the gods of Earth ripped a hole in reality, a hole these other gods can look through. Or worse.
Okay, that's nightmare fuel,
Yeah.
for sure. So Barzai's gone, vanished. All that's left is his giant symbol carved into the summit. And to make it even creepier, it's the same symbol from the unreadable parts of those Nakodic manuscripts. Like the universe is saying, I told you so.
In that symbol, it's a chilling reminder about messing with forbidden knowledge. There are some things humans just aren't meant to know. We cross certain lines at our own risk, and it makes you think, what did Barzai see in those final moments? What secrets were revealed to him?
Ooh, good question. We know it broke his mind, but what if it also showed him something about us? about where humanity fits in all this. That's something to think about, isn't it, listener?
It makes you wonder why Barzai even wanted to find these gods in the first place, right? Like, what was he really after? Was it just curiosity, or was there something more? Maybe like some need to connect with something, even if it was as alien as these gods.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe he thought by figuring out the gods of Earth, he'd get some kind of, peek behind the curtain, like he'd see how the universe works. Instead, he gets a face full of cosmic horror.
And that horror, it's not just fear, is it? There's something like awe-inspiring in it, too. That feeling of being totally overwhelmed by something's so much bigger than us.
Right, like imagine standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, but instead of just feeling small, you feel like non-existent, insignificant. It's kind of beautiful in a terrifying way.
Exactly. And that's what Lovecraft does so well. He captures both the terror and the allure of the unknown, like the other gods, for instance. He never actually describes them, but we know there's something that even the gods of Earth fear. What does that tell us about how power works in Lovecraft's universe?
Makes me think of those old drawings of angels with all their different ranks and orders. But instead of angels, we're talking about things that probably make angels look like puppies.
And that's a good way to think about it, because a lot of Lovecraft's cosmic horror comes from this idea of a giant hierarchy that we don't understand. We humans, we're way down at the bottom, barely aware of what's going on above us. And the higher we try to climb, the more dangerous it gets.
Like Barzai, struggling up that mountain, thinking he's reaching the top, and then realizing there are levels of existence he couldn't even imagine. It makes you question your place in the universe, huh?
For sure. And that feeling, that existential dread, is what keeps Lovecraft relevant even today. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with information, news, global crises, technology, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and lost. Lovecraft's work reminds us of the vastness, the mystery, and how little the cosmos cares about us.
So it's not just a spooky story, it's like a philosophical exploration. That's a lot to pack into a short story about a guy climbing a mountain.
That's Lovecraft for you. He fits a lot into a few pages. And it's not just about feeling small and insignificant either. There's a certain power in realizing our limits. It helps us to let go of the illusion of control and embrace the mystery of existence.
You mentioned the Nakodic manuscripts before and how they show up in other Lovecraft stories. Does that mean there's more to that symbol Barzai finds on the mountain? Could it be like a clue to something bigger? A cosmic connection that we're missing?
You're picking up on something really important there. You're right to connect those dots. Lovecraft was great at weaving these subtle connections through his work, building this shared mythos. And that symbol, it does pop up in other stories, usually associated with places or beings of immense power, ancient evil.
So it's not just some random doodle, it's like a stamp, a mark of something otherworldly.
Exactly. And that brings up a good question. If Barzai's run-in with the other gods was part of this bigger cosmic story, does that mean his fate was already decided? Was he always going to be a pawn in some cosmic game? Or did he, by being so ambitious, stumble into a role he wasn't ready for?
Whoa, that is deep. Free will versus destiny. Lovecraft's really pushing us to think here. What do you think, listener? Are we in control of our fate, or are we just playing our parts in a story that's already written? It's wild, right? We start talking about a short story, a guy climbing a mountain, and we end up talking about free will and destiny on a cosmic scale. That's Lovecraft for you, I guess.
He just pulls you in, makes you question everything, not just the story, but your own ideas about the world, the universe. And what's really cool is that he does it all with such simple writing. He doesn't give you these long descriptions of cosmic beings. He lets you fill in the gaps with your own fear.
Which is probably way scarier, right? Like our imaginations can come up with things way worse than anything he could have written. But it's not just about scaring us, is it? There's a deeper message here, something about how much humans can know and what happens when we try to find what's hidden.
Absolutely. Barzai's downfall, it's a classic case of hubris. Thinking you're bigger than you are. He thought he was so smart he could handle the true nature of the cosmos. And that's such a human thing, isn't it? We always want to control, understand, put everything in its place.
That we love our neat little boxes, right? Makes us feel safe, like we're in charge. But Lovecraft's like, nope, the universe doesn't care about your rules.
And that can be really unsettling, especially in a world where we're always trying to progress, to master nature. Lovecraft forces us to face the idea that there are things we're just not supposed to know, forces we can't understand that might not be friendly.
Like, what if we're not the top dogs in the cosmic sense? What if there are things out there that see us the way we see ants? Interesting to study, maybe, but ultimately not that important.
And that's the real horror, I think. Not the monsters, but the idea that we might not matter at all in the grand scheme of things. All our hopes, dreams, everything we build, it might just be a blip in time and space.
It's kind of humbling, though, isn't it? And maybe even a little freeing. Like, if we accept that we're not the center of everything, maybe we can stop taking ourselves so seriously.
I think that's a good way to look at it. It lets us appreciate the beauty and mystery of existence without needing to control it. And maybe, just maybe, it makes us a little kinder to each other, a little more aware of how fragile we are in the face of the unknown.
So, what's the takeaway for our listener, the one who sent us the other gods? What should they be thinking about after all this?
I think it goes back to that question we asked before. What happens when knowledge finds us, whether we're looking for it or not? Because Barzai's search for forbidden knowledge, it's like our own human need to explore, to push the limits. But what if we find something we shouldn't have seen? A truth that breaks our comfortable illusions? Do we pretend it's not there, or do we face it, even if it changes everything?
Big questions. And on that note, I think we'll wrap up our look at the other gods. It's been a trip, listener, full of cosmic horror, big ideas, and maybe a touch of existential dread.
But hey, a little existential dread isn't always a bad thing. Keeps us grounded, reminds us what really matters.
Right, so keep exploring, keep questioning, but maybe be a little careful and a little awestruck when you're looking into that cosmic abyss. And if you ever find yourself at the bottom of a misty mountain, maybe just admire it from a safe distance. Okay, until next time, happy reading and stay curious.